James Turner for the untouchable true school sports. Let's go, baby. Bow!
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
Yeah. The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so we're a bit pressed for time today because we have to get ready for fight week beginning tomorrow. But this is a three-parter, so I got three things I'm going to talk about. I'll put it all in this one video. Check the timestamps down below. All right, so it's been reported that one of the best fights that could possibly be made in the cruiserweight division, maybe you could even say the best fight. I don't know. You tell me. But Zurdo Ramirez and Billam-smith, the WBA and WBO cruiserweight champions, they are reportedly now finalizing a unification fight for the Riyadh season Latino night card on November 16th out there in Saudi Arabia. And for those that don't know, Turkey Al-Sheikh and Riyadh season, they're doing a whole Latino night there. So I guess they're going to have a bunch of Latin fighters on the card. But one of the fights that is going to be on that card is going to be this fight right here. Now, these are two fighters that I'm a big fan of. I'm a big Zurdo Ramirez guy, and I've really grown into a big Chris Billam-Smith guy over the years. And I think like this could really and truthfully be a signature fight for the career of both men. Zurdo Ramirez is a fighter that, you know, has only ever lost to one man, and that's Dmitry Bivol. And Bivol is, if he beats Beterbiev, and even without beating Beterbiev, Bivol is one of the top 10 pound fighters in the sport, you know, so there's no shame in that. Other than that, Zurdo's been very good for a very long time. He just hasn't gotten the fanfare. The first Mexican fighter to ever be a super middleweight champion, the first Mexican fighter to ever be a cruiserweight champion. So he's made history too. It's not just that he's been good, he made history while being very good, you know. Aggressive, southpaw style, but has shown at times, and it showed in his last fight against Joe Smith Jr. when he won the title, he showed that ability to box on his toes. So he's actually got more skills than people realize, right? So you got him on one side. The other side, you got Chris Billam-Smith, a fighter that's not flashy, a fighter that's not gonna ooh you and ah you on the highlight reel, but this guy, he just knows how to fight. He just flat out knows how to fight, and he knows how to get the job done. And he's been on a rampage. You know that the cruiserweight division is primarily a British division, and he's been running through England. I mean, beat Ty McCarthy. Had that fight of the year with my boy Isaac Chamberlain, beat him in the UK. Knocked out Arnold Jojai cold, you know, in 5 rounds, put him on a stretcher. Beat Lawrence Okoli, one of the longest reigning champions at the time. Then he stopped Mateusz Masternak, who's been a high-level cruiserweight for a long time. And then he took the O of one of the most highly regarded contenders in the division in Richard Riakporhe. So he's been, to me, very underappreciated, and a guy that's been just steadily good. And I think both these guys fighting each other is great for the division. Billam-Smith, Noah Zurdo is extremely fast. Billam-Smith likes to operate out the high guard, so does Zurdo, but I think Zurdo has shown a bit more of the ability to box on his toes when he can. So I think that's a fight where you may see Zurdo box a bit more, and you may see him become more of the matador. I mean, maybe CBS becomes the bull. I don't know, but either way, it's a very significant fight for the division. And once it's like completely finalized, there will be few fights in boxing I'm more excited for than this one, just because of what both these guys represent. Both these guys have fought good competition. Both these guys always have pretty good, steady, consistent performances. And both these guys, if you're not careful, can put your lights out. So there's not really a whole lot to complain about, other than the fact that, you know, Chris Billam-Smith could have been fighting Jael Pataya, but we know Boxer and Ben Shalom didn't want to go ahead and do that at the time. So maybe that fight could happen down the road. But right now, CBS versus Zurdo, you can't go wrong with it. In other news, Janibek has learned the recent fate of what his next fight will entail, and he's not too thrilled about it, because we talked a lot about purse bids in boxing recently. Well, here's another bit of purse bid news. No Limit Boxing, the company that represents Andrei Mikhailovich, they have won the purse bid for the Janibek world title fight. If you guys remember, Janibek was supposed to fight Mikhailovich in July, but Janibek pulled out with an injury. Andre made a big deal about it in the media. Has a really colorful personality, probably one of the most engaging personalities in boxing. He's trying to really stick his flag on the ground and make a name for himself, and this fight would have been the one to do it. You know, he's 21-0 with 13 KOs. So this fight's getting rescheduled, and Janibek is going to have to go to all the way to Australia. And for those of you who want to know the numbers, No Limit Boxing won the purse bid by $1,000. They won the bid for $351,000, and Top Rank's bid was $350,000. So to that, Janibek stated the following, and I quote, "I have no words. What is this, Top Rank? What's going on?" And he tagged Bob Arum and Carl Moretti. So he's obviously not thrilled about it. Janibek is going to make 65% of the purse, so that's roughly just north of $228,000 for him. And Andrei Mikhailovich will make just south of $123,000 at $122,850 for him. So those are the numbers, those are the details. And as far as the fights, look, Janibek is having a hard time making the middleweight limit. The fact that he couldn't make the weight and, he had a hard weight cut, that kind of goes to show you everything. And I've always thought Janibek, like looking at his frame and his body, I've always thought he was a bit of a tweener. He always looked maybe a little bit too big for middleweight, but maybe not quite big enough for super middleweight, right? And now his body is starting to kind of get to that point where he's going to have to move up to 168 sooner rather than later. So, this could be a case of, just the right fight at the right time for Andrei Mikhailovich. He can punch a little bit. I've watched some highlights of him. Southpaw, can move, can box, got a little bit of pop. Sometimes makes defensive mistakes that I think an experienced fighter like Janibek can capitalize on. But look, man, he's going to be on his home turf with a chance to take the title and become the next Australian world champion. So I think it's going to be a really interesting fight when it does happen. And I'm looking forward to seeing, what does Janibek have left in the tank. And then look, if Janibek, let's just say if Janibek were to lose his title to Mikhailovich, I think first and foremost, the middleweight division gets a much-needed personality added to it because that guy is really entertaining to listen to talk, Andre. But not just that. If Janibek loses this title and he has to go to 68, maybe that opens up the possibility for a Demetrius Andrade fight, which they should have had, a while ago. But the Andrade vacated, so maybe they can fight at 168 because Andrade, even though he's not doing much these days, and he hasn't retired as of yet, so yeah, that's the news there. Top Rank loses the purse bid to No Limit Boxing, and Janibek has to get his passport nice and shined up and go to Australia to defend his belt. The last piece of news that I'll discuss with you guys is the fact that, a fight got announced recently, and y'all can say the date, October the 19th, in the UK. Adam Azim, one of the brightest prospects now, I would say contenders, in British boxing, will be looking to continue his ascension up the division as on October 19th, he takes on former world title challenger and very, very, polarizing figure in British boxing, Ohara Davies. And that'll be a big fight, October 19th. And let's talk about it because, Adam Azim nor Ohara Davies, neither one of them is ranked in the top 15, but Adam Azim has big, lofty expectations, big, lofty goals for himself. And he's trying to become a world champion by next year. And this is an ideal fight because Ohara Davies has mixed it in with some really good fighters. We haven't seen nor heard from Ohara Davies since Ismael Barroso put him out in one round down here in Vegas. And it's kind of sad what's happened to his career because Ohara has gone through a lot, with Eddie Hearn and Eddie Hearn kind of throwing him under the bus years ago. And then Golden Boy signs him with a chance for him to really build his career. And then Barroso just knocks him out in a round like that. That was crazy. But Ohara Davies has ruined prospects before. He's ruined young fighters before. I mean, I knew a fighter back in the day named Logan Yoon, and Ohara fought him in the Golden Contract tournament, and Logan Yoon was a guy that I was high on. Looking back on it in retrospect, it was probably a fight that Logan took way too early in his career. And Ohara Davies abruptly ended his career. The kid hasn't fought, nor has he been seen or heard from ever again. And he probably moved back to Hawaii and is just living a regular life now. So Ohara can't play spoiler. He's done it in the past on a couple of occasions, but Adam Azim is a different class, a different caliber than a guy like Logan Yoon. He's a lot more polished and is more accomplished as an amateur than Logan Yoon. And I really look at this, if Ohara Davies is going to make anything of himself on that world-class level, he's got to find a way to win this fight. And for Adam Azim, Ohara Davies is clearly the best fighter he's ever fought in his career to this point. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So I'm looking forward to seeing Adam Azim finally stepping up to that world level, because for the most part, it's just been Europeans and Brits and things like that. You guys that are at that level. This is a guy that has been at the world level, has challenged, good fighters, top guys. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing how Adam responds in this scenario, and if he wins, then he should be right there at the top 15 after, and then God willing, maybe Dalton Smith could happen next year. I know that was a big thing. Dalton Smith and Adam Azim had a big rivalry, and there was some back and forth about that. So that I think if he gets past this fight, this opens up the opportunity for that. But he's got to focus on Ohara. Ohara can punch. Ohara is athletic. Ohara does have long arms. Adam Azim, he's a guy that's he's a British fighter, as is Ohara, and I think Adam Azim is gonna try to outspeed Ohara from the outside and let his youth take over in this fight. And it'll be that old matchup of youth versus experience. Which one proves to be the more imposing factor in the fight? A good fight. Looking forward to it, and got a lot of love for Adam Azim and Ohara Davies. So respect to the two British warriors, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens on October 19th. But let me know what you guys think about that fight. Let me know what you guys think about Top Rank losing the purse bid to No Limit Boxing. So now Janibek has to go to Australia. Let me know about Chris Billam-smith versus Zurdo Ramirez, all that. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Davies. So until next time, take your eyes. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. I'm at the Boxing Hall of Fame out here in Canada, New York. And for more great boxing content just like this video, make sure you click and subscribe right over here.